Welcome to the Python Learn Together, Code Together. Now we will do some magic in the Python. Okay, I'm going to open the Python interpreter, and here today I'm introducing something called is and not is. Okay, is and not is. For example, now I will just type something and you need to understand what is the is and not is. Okay, these two sentences, is and not is, in Python. uh, I will just declare a equals to 10 and b equals to 10. So now I will just call a is b. Okay, then I will click enter. It is giving the output as true. Okay, I will just use another a equals b. That is also giving the output as true. We have to think what the is. Okay, what this is going to do. Then in the second I will just declare a equals to 20 and b equals to 40. Okay, now I will call a is b. You can see it is false, and I will just use a equals b. This is also the false. Okay, this is what the is. This is what the function of is. I think you have understand about what is, because in our magic we require this basic things, the meaning of is and not is, because we are going to make one magic. For that we need to understand these two terms, is and not is. So here I will define now a equals to 20 and b equals to 40, and I will just call a sorry, it is not is, no, it is not. A is not. We will check whether it is yeah, a is not b. You can see it is returning true. It is a is not b, it is returning true, and a is b, it is returning false. So is not also, I think you have understand now. A equals b, it is false, but a is not is true. I will show one more example. A equals to 40 and b equals to 2. A is not b. Okay, if I tell it as not is, then don't confuse, it is not. Okay, the syntax is like is not. For simplicity, just for a flow, I just told as not is. Okay, it is actually is not. A is not b. Yeah, it is true. Then a is b. It is false. Okay. Now from this, I think you understand, like if we use is, it is compare these two variables, and if these are equal, then it will return true, and if these are not equal, then it will return false. In the same way, is not, that is the exact reverse of this. Okay, we understand like that. But now, okay, I will just close and I will clear this, and I will just open again. Now I'm going to do some magic. So for that, okay, a equals to 400 and b equals to 400. Okay, I will click enter. Now I will just type a is b, and I will click enter. Oh no, it is giving false. Why? A is equals to 400, b equal to 400. A if we check a equals b, we can see it is true, but this is giving false. We will check whether a is not b. This is true. According to this IDE, it is telling 400 is not equal to 400. What is this? we can see with another example. A equals to 500 and uh, b equals to b equals to 420. 420. Now I'll click enter. Now I will check A is B. False. Yeah, A is B. A is not equals to B. Yeah, it is false. It is giving the correct answer. Because these two are not equal, so it is giving this false. Now I will just call A is not B. I think it has to give us the true. Yeah, it is giving this true. Now I will just call A equals to 200 and B equals to 200. No, okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, A equals to 2000 and B equals to 2000. Now I will just call A is B. It is false. But why it is acting like something strange things? So actually we may think this is not proper, something it is giving wrong or nonsense things, but actually there is a huge difference between equal and is. That is the important thing we need to learn. I will just show you how. Okay, yeah, sorry, I just opened the PowerPoint. I need to open Paint. Okay, I will just show you in Paint. Here, yeah, the equal operator, that means the equal, this operator is the equal and double equal, that will check the values which are equal or not. That means if I check A equals B, that means it will check the value of A whether it's equals to value of B. If it is, then it will give us the true. That means you have to remember that here it will check like A equals to 100 and B equals to 100. Then A equal B means it will check the value of A, that is this 100, and the value of B, that is this 100, is equals to B. So if it is equal, it will return us the true. You can see A equals to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and B equals to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Then if I check A equals to B, then you can see it is equals to true, because it checks the value of A and B. Now when we come to this is and not is, it is like okay, here there is one box. Okay, this is one box. Okay, here I will call this box name as integer, INT. Okay, I will call this as integer. And okay, I will just clear this these two. Okay, I will just call this box as integer. Now we will declare two variables, that is A and B. I'm declaring the two variables A and B. Okay, now here we will declare A equals to 100 and B equals to 100. Now in the int, in this box, that means it is the whatever we are giving this variable, no, all those are referenced in some table. Okay, this is that table. I simply call this as a box. Okay, in this box when I define A and B, and when I equal this to A equals to 100 and B equal to 100, in this box there will be 100 is kept. Okay, in this table there will be 100, and both I will define it as A and B. Okay, so and I equal that to 100 and 100, so it will maps all these things to like this. Like this it will map integer of 100. So now if I check A is B, that means A is referring to this object. This A is referring this our variable A. Now okay, A equals to 100 and B equals to 100. A is referring to this object, that is 100, and B is also referring to this object, that is 100. So we will get the answer as A is B is true. Okay, A is B is true. Sometimes what happens means the Python will create actually the number ranges from -5 to -5 to 256. If your number is in this range, then you can just simply use this is and not is as a double equal operator, or that means the comparison operator. But it is now I will rub this. Okay, I will rub these things. Okay, I will just use Control Z. Okay, now here is my box, and yeah, here is my box, and here is another box. Here I will declare A equals to the greater than 256. That means I'm declaring two variables, and I'm assigning the values which is not in the range -5 to 256. Okay, -5 to 256. Remember this, -5 to 256. If I define my value, that means if I assigned A equals to the value in between these two, then it will maps, if those two values are equal, then it will maps to the same object. So now here I'm going to define A equals to 300. Okay, and B equals to 300. But here 300, which is not in the range of -5 to 256. Okay, so here in this table the 300 is there. That means in this object the 300 is there, and here again 300. This for the B. So it will maps like A is 300 and B is 300. Now if we check by using A is B, it will just check whether these two are referenced to the same object. But here it is different object. If the value is in between -5 to 256, both are in the same box. Okay, if these two are different, then anyway it will give us the different value. That means if these two are different, A and B are different, then if we compare using is operator, then it will give us the false. But if we use those two are equal but it is greater than 256, then it will create the separate object, that means the separate boxes. So if we use the is operator, now you can see here in a Python interpreter, if I will define A equals to 300 and B equals to 300. Now I will just call A is B. You can see it is false because these two are kept in separate boxes, that means the separate object. So it will gives us the value as A is B as false. But A equal B, if we check with the comparator operator, that will check these values. It will not check this object whether it is referencing to the object or not. It will just check check these two values. So if we check these values, that is A equals B, then we can see this will return us the 2 because 300 equals to 300. But if we check A is B, then it will return us the false because those two are referencing the different object. So if we define the number, okay, now what I'm going to write means I will just write A equals to something like 400 and B equals to 333. Okay, these two are greater than the 256. Now we will check A is B. It will return the false value. We can check which object our A and B belongs. That means we can check which box our A and B belongs. We can check that table. That is actually called in Python, it is actually uses the catch. So if we use is, this operator, is and not is, it is more speed than the comparator operator. So if our program that will uses the number which is less than, that means it is in the range -5 to 256, then you can use the is because it is more faster, it uses the catch. But if we use the equal operator, it uses the memory. That's not the catch. So here what we can do means okay, a yeah, I'm telling about how to see which box it belongs. That means how which object it is referenced. We can, in Python interpreter only, we can see this box, which box this belongs and which box this belongs. For that, there is one small function called id. Okay, that means those boxes are named with some IDs, those things, that means the reference to things. So id of a, I will call id of a, you can see it is 2624830147024, and id of b, okay, it is different. You can see these two IDs are different. That means those two are in different boxes, or different what's that, different assigned tables. So if we use the is operator, it will check this, it will check whether this and this are referenced to the same object. This is my object name, whether it is referenced to the same object. For example, I will just define a equals to 2000 and b equals to 2000. Now we will check the id of a. It is 262483014, and now we will check the id of b. You can see it is different. That means those two are in different boxes. For a simplicity, I am using the boxes, but it's actually it is called as the object. So those two are in different, those two are referenced to the different object. So if we check a is b, then you can see it is false, because those two are in reference to the different objects. You can see here those two are referenced to the different. But if we use the values in the range -5 to 256, we'll check that I will use a equals to 100 and b equals to 100. Now if we check those two IDs of a, it is 2032, and I will check IDs of b, that's also same. That means there's those two, a and b, equals to 100. That integer value 100 is in the same object, or those two a and b variables which are referencing to the same boxes or same object. So we will get a is b is as true. Similarly, I think you have understand exactly about how the is will going to work. Similarly, exact opposite of this is not. Okay, is not syntax. I think you hope understand about this magic. Thank you.